Hi, and welcome to this episode of John's Motorcycle Rescue and Review. Alright guys, it has been a little while since I have picked up a classic bike project to go through and rescue. Yesterday, I braved the cold winter weather here and I went out and I bought my next motorcycle project. This bike is the 1994 Kawasaki Concours ZG1000. It was called the GTR1000 in Europe. I have previously owned several of the Concours ZG1000s. I've also posted a review of the Concours ZG1000. You can click the link above to see that review. This particular bike is the second gen bike, and although it's the same basic bike, it does have some upgrades to the suspension, to the front brakes, to the windshield, and to the seat on the bike. The motor in the Concours 1000 is heavily based on that of the 1000 Ninja. As such, it is an inline 4-cylinder motor. It is liquid cooled. It's a 16 valve motor. And in the Concours, it's tuned more for mid-range and low-end power, as is fitting on a sport touring motorcycle. The Concours 1000 has one of the longest production runs of any production motorcycle. It was in continuous production all the way from the mid-80s through 2007. My goal for this bike is to make it into a very solid daily driver and to have it running as good as it looks. Once I have this bike sorted mechanically, I will post a full ride review video of it, and I may also compare it to some of the other classic bikes I have in the garage. Currently, I have Honda's ST1300 in the garage, and so there was definitely overlap between that bike and this bike, and so it would be a fun comparison to see how these two bikes compare back to back. Looking at this particular bike, the cosmetics on the bike are honestly in excellent condition. Obviously the bike is dusty and it needs a bath and it needs touched up here and there, but overall this is a beautiful machine and I think it will really clean up nicely. Mechanically, the bike has sat for a little while, and while it runs, it's dumping fuel through one of the carbs, so it seems like one of the floats is stuck or one of the needles in the carb is not closing fully, and it's allowing extra gas to flow into the cylinders. So it smokes a little bit, it blows a little bit of excess gas out of the one side of the exhaust, and it definitely needs a carb cleaning and a general tune-up. I will go in and look over the bike, I'll check the air filter, I'll change all the fluids in the bike as I go through it. When I buy the classic bikes, one of the first things I look for is a bike that is in excellent cosmetic condition. I'm very comfortable working on the mechanical systems on the bikes, but when you get into the cosmetics and reupholstering seats or painting bodywork, I have to outsource those jobs, and it costs me a lot more money when I have to do those aspects of a restoration. One thing I noticed as I was looking at this bike was the brakes were hanging up in the front and in the back. The brake fluid also looks dirty front and back, and so I will go in and most likely I'll rebuild the calipers themselves, make sure the seals are good in those, and I'll flush the old brake fluid out of the systems and replace what I need to in there. Looking at the fork seals on the bike, the fork seals on this bike look great. There's no weepage on there, and so that's a good sign. The tires on the bike are also brand new, front and back. I'm not sure why the previous owner put a white wall tire in the back. I'm not a real fan of that, but we'll see how it rides and handles, and I may replace that if I need to. Mileage on this particular bike is 72,000 miles. That's much higher mileage than I typically deal with on a classic bike. However, because this bike is a touring bike, it's not uncommon for them to rack up much higher mileage than you see on other types of motorcycles. And its excellent cosmetic condition is a very good indicator that this bike has been well taken care of over the course of most of its life. Alright guys, I will keep you posted on the progress that I make on this project. I don't know if any of you out there are Concours ZG1000 fans or GTR1000 fans. If so, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, I hope you found this video entertaining and informative, and until next time, enjoy the ride.